Greetings, this is Mars of the Watcher's Prophecy News. Not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I'm afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. That's a leader. Oh yeah. We fired up tonight. Better believe it. Alrighty, I'm your host tonight, Mars, the Watcher's Prophecy News, and I'm glad everyone is here tonight listening. A famous Quaker man once said, "Dream as if you will live forever, and live as if you'll die today." Now, tonight's show is about being a leader. Some of you really need to hear this message. You'll not want to miss this little show tonight. I had a vision recently, a dream, and I saw white spirits and black spirits engaged in battle, and the sun was darkened. The thunder rolled in the heavens, and blood flowed in streams. And I heard a voice saying to me, "Such is your luck, such you are called to see. Let it come rough or smooth, for only a leader doeth stand. For God is our power, our backbone, and when we cannot fight, because at that time many will be taken, and many will have to pull the sword." Oh goodness. Nobody can hear anything. Can anybody hear anything? Well, I hate that. We'll restart the potato. Alright, give me 1 second. We're not sure exactly what's happening. We're going to fix it real quick. Alrighty, can everybody hear me now? We had a little technical difficulty, but it's over with, I think. Things happen. Okay, apparently I'm back on. Well, I love it when the station does that, but it does occasionally. Tonight we're going to find out who has the guts to be a real leader. We spend all our lives, all of us, waiting for that great day. Some great battle or the time to warn to blow that shofar, a powerful leader, the mighty watchman. But that external confirmation is not given to many. So long as our being is armored, directed with passion toward which is the Spirit of all things given by the Father, then that Spirit will emerge from our own hidden, nameless effort. We are more than conquerors in battle. We're indeed leaders when He leads us. First, the biggest headline right now going on in the world news. Let me go ahead and shoot this to you, because you may only be hearing this first from me and haven't had a chance to read the news yet today. And I'm just going to give you this one headline. It was the biggest thing that broke today, and it is a shocker. Now, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has been given full authorization by the President of the United States, Donald Trump, to attack Iran. That's right. With a limited tactical strike to dissuade them from further attacks on shipping in the Gulf. They're about to pay a very high price. And this is being announced right now in the Jerusalem Post, who Mike Pompeo did an exclusive with today. We do not know the time of the attack yet, but we do know that it has been authorized and it is coming. It's going to be a surprise. Iran doesn't even know when we're going to launch, but we know it's coming. So everyone needs to have their stuff together. Everyone needs to know and be aware that this could easily start a world war. According to Mike Pompeo, we're going to hit one of their nuclear sites. That could cause a lot of destruction in Iran. So stay tuned to the news. It's about to get real. Now, I'm really glad everyone's here tonight. I'm sorry about that little glitch earlier, but things happen. Want to welcome you again to the WPN on tdcradio.com. Need to come find us on Discord, TDC Radio, or the Watcher Society on Discord, or even the Watcher Society on Facebook, and you'll get all of our links because we have moved. Thank you for being here tonight. And we're going to talk about what it is to be a leader. You know, it's not always from the neck up where you win or lose the battle. It's the art of war that saved man. Man knows the battle is from the heart. It's where and when the pressures of life either shape you or you call upon the Almighty to shape them. When you see the slain fall, not of wounds from the sword, but from the mouth into the blood through the ears of hearing and the knowledge of our salvation from the word, then you are formed for battle. A diamond is formed with great pressure, and it's hardened to withstand and cut all things. A diamond refracts and reflects light and is a wonder upon men. To be worth seeing the king, you must be like that diamond. Humble to be formed, and yet unbreakable in faith. Got to know what it takes. You see, many men today lead like scared hens. Scared to make decisions. Because they don't know exactly what the consequences will be. They haven't prayed about it. Fleeing the one who devours faith and seeks comfort that the enemy offers rather than to be put to the sword and tested by God's iron will. With talks aimed at the Lord, I wanted to go to the blue and green hues of the sky and water with heroes. I felt the color needed to be more dramatic and give a sense of battle, rage, and yes, even blood. To know what would form a real man and to know how God formed even me. But that's the world these demigods live in. I felt that the orange and red would also complement the greenish blue of the uniform, and that the blood of my enemies would instead be frost of seeing a loving, peaceful, transformed heart as witness to the Creator that He has calmed me before the storm. God so powerful that He has transformed the leader with real leadership and the owner with responsibility to the battle at hand. There is a place where the unseen words of your heart echo upon your lips. That the Spirit wells such might as Samson and such cruel words as even in Lucifer's heart. But we are either transformed into beings of light for the cause of the gospel from transfiguration, or we look up only at God and laugh. But trust me, there will be a reckoning. There will be a day of judgment, a time when each man, each woman will be held accountable for the love they have inspired. the path they have walked, the talk that carried today, the words that lived in red letters. You know, men want a battle to fight. They want an adventure to live, a beauty to rescue. That is what's written in a man's heart. It's just what little boys play at. It's what men's movies are all about. You just see it, it's undeniable. But we're born with enough light to acknowledge it. Just as the devil has fed us angelic technology so that we could see him coming in the great deception, we're not going to fall for that. We can see Jesus in conception, the overpowering reason to accept the free gift, or the hell eternal to reject its favor. It's often observed that the first casualty of war is the truth. But how do you tell the truth without betraying the sacrifice of those who accepted the terms of the battle? See, our lives are but a vapor. So short that, to be realistic, that when you see my fog, the smoke and fire of my life through Jesus, that you would follow me into battle. That it's not me, but thee who breaks indoors. It is him who converts the wicked, one soul at a time. We're to have control, and to have control, we must concede control to the one that is true. The warrior who will come on the white horse with a sword, and I will bring such a battle to the rim of the world, and he causeth me to see clearly as a man, not lay down the banner of justice for anyone, nor eat at the table of the wicked. Tom Clancy once said, in battle you forgive a man anything except an unwillingness to take risk. But sometimes you even have to put that on the line. It's a risk, it's a challenge, it's a call of the Spirit, it's a mumble in the rumble. A full battle rattle rise to the convictions of the Spirit, to stand up, to move your feet in action, to bow your head and say, God, forgive me, I'm a sinner, I deserve nothing but hell. And I need you. I need a reason to float. I need a reason to swim. I need a reason to understand. I need a reason to fight. I need a reason to win. Save me, Jesus. I need you today. My feet are moving. If you prayed that prayer, we know where you're going. William Wallace, famous warrior, once said, return to your friends and tell them that we came here with no peaceful intent, but ready for battle, and determined for God to avenge our own wrongs and set our country free. Let your devil masters come and attack us. We're ready to meet them beard to beard and blood to blood. You know, in the past, I would sometimes think how happy it had been for me had I been slain in the battle. It had been far more noble to have died the victim of an enemy than fall a sacrifice to the rage of my friends. And in these times that your doings would be judged, and had that cowards would rise and entice our youth, that our children raised so much closer to the vest now than ever before, than the wilds of the world and its freedoms, so much more limited. But you see, I have an edge. A sharp understanding that the Lord will protect our hearts if we seek him. And then I don't mind so bad stepping through the blood of the wicked. Real leader will not allow a gay or transgender relationship. He will not marry into a curse. He will ask God for what he needs and show God what he's thankful for, what he has. He does not lead his woman to a crack house. He listens and he encourages. He spends time with his troops. He gathers on the pride of life near him. He does not let broken people hook him up. He scoffs at the sin and gives alms to the needy. He lays down his life for his family or even for a stranger. He knows what love is, and he's not afraid of chastisement. He walks with a tongue slow to anger and a fist that would protect the weak. He is a spiritual guide and a spiritual head of the household. He studies the word and teaches his woman and his children the way to walk in righteousness. A leader exhibits calm, and adversity has no place in him. He has emotion to pity those in need. He is kind and good-hearted, and a leader is a fair merchant. He studies the prophecies, and he listens to the Holy Spirit. He can be easy a tool, a weapon of justice, even in hard situations. He is ready with his lance in times of conflict, weapons drawn because he knows there is a war. Oh yes, there is. There is a war for your mind. Devil likes to confront good leaders. I sin, but the sin does not stand the cost of the nature of eternity in me, because I have a forgiver. In flames or bliss, beyond all the words of peace, what defines me as a leader? Tell you, some things do, some things don't. He has raised me from the filth of my own righteousness to the righteousness of his will and his battle. We're not promised but to suffer, to ponder fate and its whims of fighting for our daily bread. But you see, the difference is mine is dropped on me like rain with thunder, and it nourishes me. Even when I cannot raise my own sword, even when I cannot speak, it speaks for me, through me. We once say we accomplish great and greater things, yet him through me has accomplished more than the building of stars. I'm a leader because inside I know secrets. The whole course of human history may depend on a change of heart in just one solitary and even humble individual. For it is in the solitary mind and soul of the individual that the battle between good and evil is waged. Do not lose your light to the world's darkness. You can cry out in the wilderness, and you can hear the trees fall, and the earth shake, and the world's ripped by the ungodly. But we will make our stand, and we're going to stand right here. And today we're going to win. Excuse me. It's not easy to stand up against your constituents, your friends, your buddies, your colleagues, even your community, and take a tough stand for something you believe is right. Because you always want to keep working and live to fight another battle, and it may even cost you your head one day. You may have to put your riches in ditches. You may soon have to give your blood in exchange for your beliefs. You may have to exchange your breath for your eternity to see Jesus. Imagine to stand on knees before the King of Kings, the ruler of eternity, and say, Lord, I know you. You made me a leader. For your voice has called me to greatness. My feet have moved to the captivity of my convictions, and my walk has moved others to you. I've failed often. I've been tempted. I have fallen many times, and I have hit so hard that even the cells of my very body have all withered from the challenges too hard for me as a man to face alone. I have. But you have restored me. But your voice said, I could. Your spirit said, I shall. Your might said, I will. And your teachings made me withstand even the fire itself. And I have burned, O Lord, with flame so hot that I knew the light was nothing I dare could hold back. That I wanted you. And I was only a wet match in the wind. Your kingdom sought even through the veil of my filthy excuses. You made me a leader because you have testified on my behalf that even allowed with all my rage, my fury, my hatred, my disgust, that you dragged me kicking and screaming because I would not let go of my mustard seed. My reward is at your feet, O King. I'm alive only because that vapor's still being seen, sending up smoke signals eternal in the name of my King, that just one would understand that he can even when you cannot. There's honesty in your face. They can see Jesus in you. The battle is won. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful face in the world. Mine sure isn't. Or even my beautiful voice. The audience can relate to you then. They can feel love, not lust, for you, the constant rush of all these groupies that we get in radio. So rush your groupies to your side at this line of fire that we do because we are called to it for a higher purpose. But that God himself would crush us in holy chastisement, that as men we can accept that we must learn, and for most men like me, it's the hard way or the highway. The love of your life, our coat snow-filled ditch. The love lost is not in the fails I've made as a man, but in the realization of how short time is left and how busy that you must get for the King's work. The bunkers you must build, the fires you must set, the sky you must ponder, and the friends that you would call family. Because for me, my heart is my home. It has chosen either to live in the cold blackness of my former self by my own tongue, or it has chosen to speak something else. It has chosen to prepare for everlasting light in life. My boss man, Rob, likes to talk about the tongue a lot. You should hear what he has to say about it. Men are not men anymore. These day and age, men are weak. Men are only filled bags of air to be snuffed out by their own doings and evils. For either we're called to a higher calling or we're doomed by the refusal to obey. And to obey God makes what a man is. A man not puffed up with air, but a man who is shedding light. And his rays are the benchmark of others, his integrity. That is his word. His lips on what love is rather than what it is not. Remember, those that wait upon the Lord will rise up with wings like eagles, and they will run and not be weary. I can't even imagine that this day and age. But it's coming. Sam Houston, famous man. Sam Houston said, we view ourselves on the eve of battle. We are nerved for the conquest and we must conquer or perish. It is vain to look for present aid. None is at hand. We must act now or abandon all hope. And that is the current situation in the world today. So my friends, it is time. It is the time of the great battles. They say we must be brave, that we must armor ourselves. And some spirit of the wind, such follies, yet they know not the dark skies coming, the wrath of the prophecies, the heart of God in us to be more than we have been, the vision to know that we are lost without him, without the light to see what is right and good and just, and the move through our passion that cannot be worded by human lips once God has touched your heart. Must be met in the soles of our feet to move as men and repent. It is the cure for our sins. I'm a leader because God has armed me to his battle and not my own. To not fight the inside battles of a lost man, but to the fight of the outside battles of many lost men. to boldly empower me to accomplish tasks that were fit for angels. And yet I moved mountains, and I have seen the waters part, even in my own life, that I may cross to the side of the willing in his duty. I'm a leader because there can be no permanent progress in the battle against hunger until I have fed myself with God and see that being filled, that the hunger is not just in me, but save the world and feed it as I have been fed. I'm a leader because I will no longer flee. A constant struggle, a ceaseless battle to bring success from inhospitable surroundings. Was it ever evil of this world worth anything? My reason for being. The price of my heart beating? The price of its rhythm is the price of his blood spilt for mine. It's the price of all great ministries and the price of doing his will for a man to learn not to flee. Bible does indeed talk about what a leader is. So ladies, when you look for a leader, you better be looking for these things in a man. A good leader seeks God's direction. Is there anything more important in a leader than he or she seeking God's direction? Proverbs 16:1 says, the plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. That's how you lead. The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. A good leader seeks to the Lord, commits his way to the Lord, and the Lord establishes his next steps. He doesn't have to worry about them. A good leader is modest and not arrogant. We've all encountered the know-it-all leader, the submit or else type of person. Proverbs 16:5 says, anyone who is arrogant in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Be assured, he will not go unpunished. I do not know about you, but I definitely don't want to be referred to as an abomination to the Lord. That's some pretty scary stuff. A leader's not going to do those things. A good leader is a peacemaker. Proverbs 16:7 says, when a man's ways please the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Now you think about that. Yet so many leaders aren't interested in examining an opposing viewpoint or other ideas. They can't do that. I have problems there. We've lost the ability to empathize with others, to compromise. It's been a bad minute. Something to be said of sticking to principles. I believe God calls us to be steadfast. He doesn't, however, call us to be jerks. And when our boldness is interpreted as coldness, we're just not doing it right. A good leader is fair and just. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues with injustice. Proverbs 16:8. I believe in goals, and I believe in working hard to achieve them. But the end always justifies the means is simply not true. A good leader is more interested in doing things the right way. A good leader surrounds himself or herself with honest, trustworthy counselors and then listens to them. Righteous lips are the delight of a king, and he loves him who speaks what is right. Proverbs 16:13. Do you know that leaders who surround themselves with yes people, that's how you make it, or how you don't. See, personal insecurity drives many men, to seek the only positive reinforcement for every decision they make, relying on someone else to tell them yes. Well, that's not right. Smart leader surrounds himself or herself with smarter people who are willing to speak their minds and offer sound counsel. After all, without counsel's plans fail, but with many advisors they succeed. Proverbs 15. A good leader is a learner. Proverbs 16:16 says, how much better to get wisdom than gold. Really? To get understanding is to be rather than silver. A good leader should always be learning, growing, and improving. The day you feel there's nothing left to learn is the day that you need to start dying, because living's no longer a good option for you. You just go ahead and pack your bags. Learn every day. Day you feel there is nothing left to learn is the day that pride and arrogance have taken root. And we've already discussed how the Lord feels about arrogance. A good leader is humble. We've seen countless prominent examples. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before fall. From politicians and celebrities, CEOs, pastors, many have grabbed the headlines as their empires have fallen. In most of these cases, it's pride that has crept in, or money, being a bad merchant. They brought themselves invincible, but quickly found out that no one is invincible. It's better to be a lowly spirit with a poor man than divide the spoil with the proud. Proverbs 16:19. A good leader is sensible and kind. Good sense is a fountain of life to him who has it, but the instruction of fools is folly. That's why you don't want to sit with people that are wicked. Don't let broken people hook you up. That's it. The heart of the wise makes his speech judicious and adds persuasiveness to his lips. Being smart and sensible makes a good leader more persuasive and way more effective. A good leader uses gracious words, rarely condemns. Not speech that is like a scorching fire, and never, ever raises his voice to a woman for any reason. It's in the Bible. Better look it up. Good leader is slow to anger. We've all seen the characters in movies and televisions of the angry boss, the person who yells for no reason, barks orders and berates, demoralizes the staff. Perhaps you've even worked for such a person. I don't like to work for people like that. The Bible says that whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty. And he who rules his spirit rather is more than he who takes a city. As you read through these qualities of a good leader, hopefully you find them very challenging. God tells us how to be effective, godly leaders. It's up to us to put our human tendencies aside and embrace these principles. It's also up to us to pray for those young men, our sons and our daughters, how to lead. They too would make good leaders that God wants them to be. You know, when the public doesn't understand me, it's a battle. So I choose my words very carefully. I choose the words of God because he understands a warrior. He understands a battle. He understands why he made man and woman, and he understands why we must face life head on, and we must never give up. Gentlemen, start your engines. This is Mars wishing you a happy Father's Day and wishing you to know the Father of all fathers, Jesus. Thank you for tuning in to the Watcher's Prophecy News tonight. Come see us on TDC Radio. You're missing out. We're on Discord. Come find us. Laters, guys. I love you all.